Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Chapter 52. When we last left our heroes, the fight was continuing, with Isshiki, as Boruto asserted that Isshiki could not kill him because he needs him for a sacrifice. I forget if Boruto is exactly aware of what the sacrifice is for. I think he is at this point. But essentially there needs to be a living Otsutsuki to grow the divine tree, which kind of made some timeline questions about the original series come up. But maybe that'll get ironed out later. I can like almost see how it works, but it's just a little off, I think. But yeah. That being said, Naruto is now back on the battlefield, and with a new chakra mode that will supposedly kill him. So before we jump into the chapter, I want to address the big news of this chapter, is that Kishimoto is coming back as a writer. Which is, it's good to see Kishimoto back. I do want to address two statements that have been made about that. One by Shueisha themselves and one by the fans. I want to kind of disagree with both of them. The first is Shueisha's statement that this has been planned from the beginning. That's very obviously a lie, given that Kishimoto repeatedly stated in the press tour for the Boruto movie that he was done with Naruto, he wanted to be done with the series. He had his own series, and I don't think I never finished Samurai 8, but I don't think he was trying to get it canceled 40 chapters in. So that's very clearly a lie. But I also want to talk about this thing I've seen on the internet a few times about Kishimoto has come in to replace Kodachi in order to save Naruto. And I'm going to be against that theory too. Because Kishimoto, even when he was not the writer, was still like a story supervisor. He still, looked over everything. He still, from my understanding, had the final say on the story. Kodachi just did like the script writing. Which means that he was okay with Naruto dying in the first place, and it makes very little sense that he would okay it and then be so upset with it that he kicks Kodachi out of the team in order to take over. My theory is just he was going to write Samurai 8, Samurai 8 got cancelled, and now he's back to do Naruto, or Boruto at this point. And that the reason there's like a 6-month gap, I think, between Samurai 8's ending and now. But that's probably just, contract things. I don't know. Anyway, all that being said, let's jump right on into Chapter 52, Bargon Mode. And our picture here is a color cover of Naruto in what I'm assuming we're calling Bargon Mode. Just looking ready to fight. And so, yeah, we open right where we left off with Naruto in Bargon Mode, staring down Isshiki. The two of them look at each other. And Isshiki thinks, how could he still have such an ace up his sleeve? Why didn't he use it before? And Sasuke also watches on. Such tremendous chakra. He never told me he had a move like this. What is it? Well, yeah, he didn't know he had a move like this. And Boruto also looked at his father. And Naruto just is solely focused on Isshiki right now. And we see, this is a flashback to Kurama explaining things to Naruto. Think of it like nuclear fusion. It's a similar principle to how the sun produces energy. Do they have nuclear fusion in the Naruto? I mean, I guess they've already advanced to having, electric trains. So I guess it's possible that nuclear fusion has advanced. But it also, if it does exist, is, post-ending of the original series. And so how would Kurama know about it unless he's studying cutting-edge scientific textbooks while inside Naruto's seal? But whatever. That's the really minor hang-up. Anyway, think of it like nuclear fusion. It's a similar principle to how the sun produces energy. Naruto asks, nuclear fusion? What's that? So yeah, there you go. Never mind. The theory doesn't matter. My chakra and your chakra are serving as the kernels to produce a whole other, new type of energy. That's all. Okay. I imagine there's something really bad, maybe even radioactive about that energy. It sounds pretty simple, but how is that different from Kurama mode and Sage of Six Paths mode? Oh, it's different, alright. From the very root of it. The other modes involve taking chakra that you acquire from elsewhere and just using it, but This is a totally different beast. As the raw materials to create this energy, my chakra and yours get consumed until one or both of our lives run out. Oh, okay. So how that worked was that Naruto was just using Kurama chakra, or Sage of Six Paths chakra, in the same way he'd use his own chakra, which means it would naturally replenish over time. But the chakra becomes something that's not even chakra. And as a result, I guess that somehow makes him unable to replenish chakra, and then he runs out of chakra, which would then kill him. Okay, I think I see the broad strokes how this mode works. Kurama continues, listen, don't make any unnecessary moves. Even rid yourself of superfluous thoughts. Those are the tricks to keep this Baryon mode going for as long as possible. Interestingly enough, the Shueisha website calls it Bargon mode. And looking at the title here, the Y/G, the font is weird enough that it might be either a Y or a G. I read it as a G because the website called it Bargon mode. But that's very clearly a Y on page 5. Also, is baryon like an actual physics term? Yes, it is. The subatomic particle, such as a nucleon or a hyperon, that has a mass equal to or greater than that of a proton. I figure that has something to do with nuclear fusion, which is how it ends up as the name for this mode. Anyway, we're back in the present now. Interestingly enough, though, that flashback did not have like the kind of black borders that flashbacks normally have. But anyway, back in the present, Naruto stares down Isshiki and just stares at him as like the dust like clears. Sasuke and Boruto just look in like stunned silence, and Isshiki tells him, "I don't care for that look in your eyes." And he jumps towards Naruto, and Naruto, I'm trying to figure out what he's doing here. I think he like somehow kicks Ishki's torso, but we can't really see enough of Naruto's legs to see what exactly happened. I'm not sure. But Isshiki, the point of the thing is that Isshiki hits the ground. And he looks up at Naruto, and Naruto just looks kind of nonplussed at this. And Isshiki gets up and attacks him again, and he like swipes at him. Naruto jumps back to dodge. And Isshiki, I'm trying to read what's going on around here. It looks like he goes for like a kick or something, but Naruto dodges again. Gah! Quit darting around! And just then, Naruto just punches him, full in the face. Interestingly enough, though, Naruto's hands are like drawn like this kind of pose, if you can see it. Yeah, this kind of pose. And Ishiki's like over here in front of him, so it doesn't even look like, unless Naruto punched and then drew his hand back. Like maybe it's similar to when he fought that one path of pain in Sage mode, and his punch missed, but then like the energy hit him. Maybe, I'm not sure. There's a lot of confusion as to, like normally the fights in Boruto are very crisp. It's very easy to figure out what's going on. It's one of the great things about this series, and maybe it's just something about Baryon mode that makes it hard to do that, or is different somehow. I'm not sure. Anyway, Isshiki hits the ground. Naruto stands over him with his like fist still ready. Isshiki kind of like dabs at his cheek, and Sasuke watches on and thinks, "Unbelievable. They're even. No, Naruto's actually beating him." And we see Boruto watching as well. And Isshiki readies his shrinking eye power, and he summons all the cubes again to fall on Naruto. But he holds the cube that's about to land on him up with his like nine tails, chakra tails. And just I think Isshiki goes to use the move on Boruto this time. But Sasuke runs and gets him out of the way. Naruto throws the cube that he's grabbed at Isshiki. Isshiki jumps back to dodge. Naruto appears right behind him and comes in with like an upside down kick. And Boruto and Sasuke get like a safe distance away, and are still just so beat that they can do nothing but watch at this point. And Naruto lands And out of the dust cloud in front of him, Isshiki comes lunging towards him. Naruto just faces him head on, and they just kind of start going at it, punching and dodging and taking hits, and eventually Naruto like dodges one like grab and then gets Isshiki right in the chest and then kicks him away. Yeah, like Sasuke said, Naruto is on top here. You know, with this mode, Ishiki's kind of bested. I mean, clearly he's not going to stay permanently bested, because if the main villain dies this early, it doesn't really work. Especially given that Naruto is not the main character anymore, and eventually Boruto will have to be the one to beat the main villain. But the point is that right now, Naruto is just completely on top. And he kicks Isshiki away. Isshiki kind of like skids to a stop. Naruto lands on his feet, and the two of them just look at each other. Isshiki, I think, throws some of those little like chakra rods. They're shrunk down. Naruto grabs them while they're still shrunk. And then they increase in size and then shrink again? Or no, he drops them. We hear the little clatter sound effect. And Ishiki's just shocked that that move didn't work. And Sasuke thinks, he stopped those high-speed rods. Unbelievable. I'm barely able to even track them with my Sharingan. And Boruto is in the same stunned face he's made the entire chapter. Boruto just does not know what to do right now. And then Isshiki just thinks, no way. Impossible. How did he power up so drastically, so fast? Naruto just stares at him as we go back to the underground bunker with Kawaki and Amado and the gang. And we just see Kawaki sitting, and Amado looks at him and asks, that prosthetic hand, it runs on chakra, right? It's usually pretty hard to find a compatible match. You're lucky. And Kawaki kind of sits there silently, and Katasuke corrects him. That was originally created for Lord Seventh's use, so it only responds to his chakra. And Amado asks, what? Lord Seventh has been sharing some of his chakra with Kawaki, so that the hand functions at all times. He's essentially constantly needing chakra. Which is kind of, like, I feel like right now he should stop doing that. Just because, like, he has bigger things on his plate. Like, he should have stopped giving Kawaki the arm chakra before he went for Baryon mode. Maybe it probably would not have worked either way, but still. And Amado responds, that was unexpected. Is there no end to his generosity? And Kawaki is silent through all this, just kind of sulks. And Sumire asks, are you able to restore his right hand, Mr. Amado? Yes, of course. It'll be my first task when this is all over. He's due for a checkup anyway. Kawaki is still silent through that, but just then his arm starts to gleam and kind of whine. And Kawaki looks down, huh? And Shikamaru asks, what is it? What's the matter? And Amado looks at him as Kawaki says, it's Lord Seventh's chakra. It's weakening. Which means that Baryon mode is starting to come undone. Which is very bad, as Isshiki is still not down yet, or even close to being down. And Naruto starts to feel it too, as he drops to one knee all of a sudden. As Isshiki and Sasuke look in confusion, we see his chakra tail start to shrink. And Sasuke asks, what's going on? His chakra. It's dropping rapidly. And Boruto calls out, Dad! And then I think this is just a random injury. For a second I thought it was karma, but it's some injury that throbs. Ow! Ugh, I hurt all over. Damn it. I can't stay awake. And with that, Boruto passes out. Which admittedly is not too different than what he's been doing this chapter. But yeah, Boruto, which means that Boruto might not bear witness to his father's death. Which I imagine will impact him in some kind of way. But Naruto's really feeling his power starting to fade. Damn it! The energy cost is steeper than I expected. I don't think I've got much time left. And Isshiki realizing that he's about to win. I see. That rapid jump in your abilities and power was a life-shortening sacrificial gamble. And Naruto glares at him as Isshiki takes a step forward. Well, sorry. Looks like you lost your bet, Uzumaki Naruto. And we see Sasuke, Gah, Naruto! And just then, we see blood start to pull out of Isshiki's mouth. Naruto might have ran out the clock on Jigen's lifespan. And Sasuke is, shocked at the sudden good turn. Naruto just continues to stare, like he was aware that Isshiki was about to run out. And Isshiki then drops to one knee. What's happening? Naruto is still staring at him. I'm spitting up blood? Impossible. I haven't taken such a lethal amount of damage. And he stands up and points at Naruto. Hokage, what have you done? Oh, is this not about Jigen? Is something Naruto did? And Naruto just laughs. Heh. Now begins the real game. To see which of us dies first. Ishiki activates his what is it? I think Sukuna Hikuna was the name of the jutsu. I just calling it the shrinking thing. But he activates it. And we see this, shadow, this kind of flame-like shadow kind of start to dissipate off of him. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Either way, Ishiki realizes that it's not good. No, don't tell me. Naruto lunges for him. And Kurama tells... I think that we're back in flashback land. Again, without the black borders that are usually used for flashbacks, it's kind of hard to tell. But Kurama says, this power is immense. It should definitely exceed his. However, we still wouldn't win against him, because the drawbacks are too great. We'll end up dying before he does. And Naruto, incredulously, what? You're kidding, right? Relax. That would normally be the case. But the circumstances here are different. That's why I chose this method. Naruto asks him, what do you mean? You see, the downside that it shortens our lives is the key. Because all chakra is connected, the same power that comes into being from bits of our lives also shaves off his life when it comes in contact with him. Okay. So because all chakra stems from the chakra fruit, I guess. Okay. It impacts everyone. At least in anyone who comes into contact with Naruto. Presumably to a lesser effect, or else it'd be a very, very dangerous move. But because Isshiki has such a short lifespan anyway, it impacts him dramatically. If Isshiki, Sasuke, and Naruto and Boruto all lose their lifespan by a few days, Sasuke and Boruto will be fine, but Ishiki's only got a few days. Okay, that's starting to track. And Isshiki realizes the state he's in. Unbelievable! Damn it, there's no mistake. My lifespan is shrinking dramatically. I should have had at least 20 hours left, even conservatively. But now, somehow, I've got less than 30 minutes. That's, honestly, I did not realize how little time Isshiki had. I thought he had, he fully took over Jigen earlier today, right? And I figured it would be at least a few days before he died. Though knowing it was only 20 hours at most, does make the hide Kawaki plan make a lot more sense. But yeah, he has less than 30 minutes before he dies. Which means if Isshiki is going to continue as the main villain, he has to find Kawaki and kill Naruto, find Kawaki, give him the karma, all in half an hour. Which he very well might if we're leading up to an end of a part 1 here. And then Kurama tells Naruto, listen, don't think about taking him down. Focus only on getting in your attacks, just like a boxer aiming to win by decision. Shave off the rest of his life, before ours runs out. So yeah, it looks like with every impact, he's taking on a little bit of Ishiki's lifespan. And so he goes for a punch that Isshiki blocks, he then headbutts Isshiki, and then Isshiki kicks him, which might do the same thing as Naruto hitting Isshiki. And then as Naruto kind of sent flying, Isshiki lunges for him, goes for a punch that Naruto dodges, Naruto hits the ground in his dodge and uses it to leverage a kick into Isshiki. Isshiki is sent flying again, hits the ground. Naruto gets on top of him and punches him while straddling him. And Isshiki thinks, damn it, his attacks, their force isn't the issue. Getting hit with them is itself the problem. Yeah, he's realizing he's kind of screwed here. And as Sasuke watches, he thinks, Naruto's chakra is getting lower and lower. Don't tell me he's... And we see Boruto still unconscious. Presumably honestly, I think he'll wake up just in time for Naruto to die. I think that's a good emotional climax for their arc. But yeah, like, Ishiki's kind of out of luck. And I know he kind of has to survive this just to continue the story. But I don't see how he does. Unless we're going to just completely toss out the flash forward. Which I'm not opposed to, don't get me wrong. But, like, without Isshiki, can the rest of Kara even, like, the rest of Kara is like small potatoes compared to Isshiki. So if he's down, I don't know what's going to happen next. Anyway, Isshiki grabs Naruto in a choke and slams him onto the ground. Scram, you lesser species! That's not gonna work out too hot for ya! And we see, I think that flame shadow thing I was mentioning earlier is like a visual representation of Ishiki's lifespan, which is news to me. But he looks over and he sees it continually flickering away. And Isshiki thinks, my lifespan shrunk even more. Less than 10 minutes left now. This is bad. I gotta prepare Kawaki, my vessel, right away. And Naruto just laughs. Heh. It's too late now. Boo-hoo to you. And Naruto he like squeezes harder on Naruto's throat. Ha! Ah! Shut up, you worm! And he looks at Naruto. And so hold on. He's choking Naruto, and he thinks, this chakra, it's... Oh! I also looked at the next page a little bit, but I think I realized... I was trying to read what's going on here. Like, is Naruto dead already? When he thinks this chakra is. But we see Naruto is still awake, still conscious. So what he's realized is... Huh. Heh heh heh. Naruto looks at him confused. The last one standing will be Otsutsuki Isshiki after all. Not you lesser species. And then we move back to the bunker. Because here is Ishiki's plan. And as Kawaki is just in pain from the prosthetic arm. Ow! And Shikamaru asks, explain, Kawaki. Is Naruto alright? How the heck should I know? Shut up and let me focus. And then we have, from the Naruto arm, one of Ishiki's portals emerges. Because what Ishiki's done is use the chakra Naruto was giving to Kawaki in order to locate Kawaki. Oh, fuck. Because just then, the portal emerges. What? And Shikamaru, Katasuke, Sumire, and Amado all look at it in, shock. Amado, no way. Kawaki sees the portal emerging around him. Oh, no, he uses it to bring Kawaki to the other dimension, not the other way around. And yeah, Kawaki lands on the ground, and he thinks, what just happened? And Isshiki looks over at Kawaki. I see. So that unsightly right hand was functioning via your chakra, Hokage. I'm grateful to you. Thanks to that meddlesome link, I was able to detect Kawaki and drag him out here at this late moment. And Sasuke, realizing how bad the situation is, what? No way. This is bad. And we end the chapter as Boruto, with a Byakugan, blinks awake. Almost certainly Momoshiki. I mean, it's possible that Boruto has awoken his latent Byakugan right now, but that facial expression, that kind of stoic, stone-faced disdain that's kind of in his face right now, that's Momoshiki. Alright. So this chapter probably put to rest any theories that Kishimoto was going to come in to save Naruto. He's dead. Naruto is very dead. And Isshiki wins. Like, full stop. Isshiki wins. He's dragged Kawaki over to the other world. And given that Naruto's power is fading, and that Isshiki's goal is right there in front of him, it's almost certain that Isshiki is going to mark Kawaki again. The real wild card here, though, is Momoshiki. Because, like, we saw a while ago, Momoshiki just, like, beating down on Boro. And I don't exactly remember why, like, what side he took there. If it was just, to protect his host. I think it was just to protect his host. And so, like, is it in his best interest for Isshiki to live? I think part of it depends on the ranking. Because we've talked about last chapter, that it's the lower ranked Otsutsuki in the pair who is sacrificed to the divine tree. And we know that Isshiki wants to sacrifice Boruto Momoshiki to the tree. But if Momoshiki is a higher ranked Otsutsuki than Isshiki, that could kind of... I mean, I think he would still be, give Isshiki his new vessel, because without that, then Momoshiki is stuck being the one to revive the divine tree. But he might not be fully on board with being sacrificed. Though perhaps for this particular arc, it doesn't really matter what side, or if like, Momoshiki still wants Isshiki to survive, just so he can be the sacrifice. And that conflict will be at a later date. The main thing here, though, this chapter is awesome. Honestly, it's great. Naruto's form is great to see. It comes with a very high cost, but just the power it gives him is worth it. Just like, it really is one final spectacle for Naruto. If there's any complaint for it as a final showcase for Naruto, is that we don't really see any of his classic moves. There's no Shadow Clone Jutsu, there's no Rasengan, and I feel like Naruto's final battle should have at least a little Shadow Clone Jutsu and Rasengan. Though there still is one more chapter. I'm guessing Naruto's gonna die next month. I think next chapter, he's gonna run out of time, Isshiki will live, Isshiki will give the karma to Kawaki, then die. Naruto will die soon after. Have one last goodbye with Boruto. Still do not know how Momoshiki is going to factor into all that. He's just kind of a wild card right now. But yeah, it's a pure action showcase. This chapter is great, and I cannot wait for this to get animated. It's going to be an utter blast. A heartbreaking blast, as Naruto's last hurrah. Leading into a defeat, leading into Isshiki, reinfecting Kawaki. But yeah, next month is going to be hard. Next month is going to be very, very hard, as, Isshiki finally wins. Naruto I highly doubt will make it through next month. So yeah, that is chapter 52. That is the Baryon mode. It's just good shit. It is just good shit. And I fully expect to be a wreck next month. All cards on the table. I'm gonna be a fucking wreck next month. But for now, it's looking super great. So December 20th, this all comes to an end. But for now, that's all I have to say for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!